What's up you guys, it's Aisling and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be doing my top 5 makeup palettes. I haven't done this video in like nearly a year. I try and do one every single year because my choices change and just kind of keep these up to date with what palettes I actually really like or what ones I recommend. Some of them might be the same, some of them might be very different. So I'm going to go through my top 5 makeup palettes for you guys and kind of like talk to you about why I like them so much. So if you're interested in seeing what my top 5 makeup palettes are of the moment, then definitely keep on watching. So I know I definitely did not include this in my last makeup palettes that I'm loving because I only got this in September and I really like this palette. This is the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. It's like one of my holy grail palettes. It comes everywhere with me, or it did up until about a month ago. I will talk about an eyeshadow palette that I bring everywhere with me now, but this eyeshadow palette literally came everywhere with me. It's the most basic neutral palette you could possibly get. There is nothing like too crazy about it. There's nothing like in this going, wow, look at that pop of color, that like pop of brightness. Yeah, I need that. There's nothing like magpie-esque about this. Like there's no like crazy glitters or anything like that, but there are some beautiful shades and very wearable shades, and I feel like this palette is super wearable for a ton of different skin tones because it has multiple different levels of transition colors. So there is like a deep brown, like a really deep brown, and then like warm tone browns, and then like paler browns, and then like this light peach shade. I think it's a very wearable palette for a lot of people. It also has like this mulberry burgundy color down here. It has a matte black, and then it has a couple pops of shades in it for like just adding a pop to an eyeshadow look. And then Tempura, which is my favorite cream shade, and I loved that from the Modern Renaissance palette as well. It has a mauve shade in it also, which might be the only shade that I feel kind of is a little bit like odd in the palette. Maybe you're doing like a mauve crease and a bit of a gold in it. I'll just pop that in there. So they could be like two shades that you could use together. I do feel like this palette is wearable from a day-to-day basis, and then you can also increase the depth or like the intensity of some of the shadows for more of a nighttime look. I wear this non-stop. Like I literally never put this down from the day I got it, which is from September till now. I love it and I pick it up all the time. It's such a gorgeous eyeshadow palette, gorgeous colors in it, and it's really blendable. When I initially got this though, I did notice, and I will say that I still do notice, that if I do not prime my eyelids, the shadows in this tend to fade throughout the day. So that's the only thing that I've noticed with it, but it's not like a big problem, and you can just apply an eyeshadow base and it doesn't fade. It might not happen with everyone, it could just be me, but I do love this palette so much. This next palette is the Huda Nude palette. I have this nearly a year. I'd say I have it a year now. So I really have gotten to use it for the last year and know exactly what I love about it. You can see the colors on the inside. They are beautiful. There's so many gorgeous shades in this. Again, this is a palette that's wearable for most skin tones. Quite different to any of the other palettes I'm going to talk about today, because this kind of has more of like a romantic mauve-y shades in it, and it's definitely different to the other palettes. And then it has like pops of purple in it. The quality of these shadows are just sensational. I really like Huda's eyeshadows. The only one I didn't like is the mauve palette, but I think I got a dud one because I haven't had any problems with any of her other eyeshadow palettes. So they're just a swatch of some of the shades in it. They're just gorgeous. I love the quality. I love how blendable they are, and I love how unique and different they are. It's not like an eyeshadow palette that you see every single day, but it is a wearable eyeshadow palette for every single day. So you don't really get these eyeshadow colors in every single palette that's on the market. When you're looking for a neutral eyeshadow palette, this will be even something great because it has a lot of neutral tones in it too, and then it has pops of color and sparkle and loose glitter. It's just an all-round great eyeshadow palette, and I highly recommend it. It is expensive. I think it's around €60, but it's worth it in my eyes because I wear it that much. In my eyes. Pun intended. I love it and I wear it constantly, and I will bring this away traveling with me, and that's always a good sign to a palette that I love if I'm going to bring it traveling with me. I have no idea if I featured this palette in my last palettes I love. If I did, we're featuring it again. This is the Naked Reloaded. This palette was sent to me so kindly by Urban Decay back in March, and oh my god, I fell in love with it. To be honest, when I first saw it, I was just kind of like, it's so basic. There's not really a whole lot to it. Like, why would I want that in my collection? I definitely have shadows similar to that. I definitely can wear other palettes and I don't need something like that. But then when I actually got it, I noticed how much I was dipping into it, how regularly I was using it, and how unique and different the eyeshadows actually are in this to other eyeshadows that I have in other palettes. The shade Boundaries here, which is this warm tone brown, if I hit pan on this, I'm going to have to get a loose shade in it because it is my most worn crease brown shade of any palette that I have. Any palette. I'm surprised I actually haven't hit pan in it. I kind of can't see that there is a good dent gone out of it, but it is my favorite brown shade to put in the crease. I will literally pop this in the crease. Sometimes I'll go in with Endgame to do like a smoky wing, and then I might use something like Angel Fire in the inner corner to brighten up my eye, and then Bribe underneath my crease. Or I can do like a more intense look where I use Boundaries in the crease, Endgame all over the outer corner of the lid, something like Distilled in the center, and then like maybe go in with something like Burn in the inner corner, and it just creates like a real smoky, gorgeous look. I love this palette, and like I said, when I first initially saw the release of it, I was like, oh, it's so basic, like I don't really need that in my collection. But I kid you not, guys, I have never put this down, and I've worn this more than any Naked palette that I think I own, other than the first Naked palette. But any palette that's come out since the Naked original, this is the one that I've worn more than any of the other ones. I love it, and I really think it is a great eyeshadow palette, and I love the packaging of it as well. And it's quite compact because it's small, so you can bring it traveling as well. And I just really enjoyed this palette. It's up there with one of my favorite palettes of all time. I went back and forth on whether I should mention this palette because I feel like in every single favorite eyeshadow palettes I mention this one, and it's the Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe. I still love it. Like, I can't replace it. I can't deny that I love it. It's just incredible. It has everything in it that you need for a neutral look, for a colourful eye. I mean, it's just so versatile. It's like one of the best eyeshadow palettes on the market. I love the quality of the shades. I've hit pan on some of them. Everything about it is great. I have stressed a few times that I don't like that the two of these shades up here are shimmering and wish one of them was matte. I still kind of stand by that, but I can live without it. I love everything about this palette. I love that there's warm shades, that there's kind of like a little pop of like cool over here, and then like a bit of colour in it, and every single look I've ever created with this I've loved, and it's lasted all day, and I just love the quality of the shades. There's just something really great about this palette. I don't even know if they still make this palette, but I feel like when it was released there was so much hype around it, and I'm still on that bandwagon that this is like one of the best palettes, and the hype around it when it did come out was very well warranted because it is a great palette. Like, it really is. And if you haven't picked it up and you're looking for like a kind of affordable, good quality palette, then I would definitely recommend this because it is only around €30, whereas the rest of the eyeshadow palettes in this are in around the 45 to €50, and even that Huda Beauty one's up there around €60. Like, it is a great palette, but it's just a little bit pricier. If you're looking for something more on the neutral end that's not as expensive, this would be the one to go to. I already filmed this whole segment of this video and had to refilm it as well because I just realized my mic wasn't on. How fabulous. I already have the shades pre-prepped for you guys from this palette. The next palette I'm talking about is my Kat Von D Lolita Por Vida. I absolutely adore this palette. I cannot stress how much I love this. I know I'm kind of talking about it a lot lately, but it's like obviously a new discovery of mine. I only discovered it there in January, and I'm just very excited about it. And I love when you find like a makeup product that you're really excited about, and for me that is this palette. I want to talk about it because I don't really hear too much about Kat Von D lately. I know she's given away, yes, she just gave away her makeup brand. I know she sold her makeup brand to the makers, or to the company that now owns Fenty Beauty. I don't hear that much about Kat Von D lately, obviously because people kind of stopped using the makeup products from the brand just because of her behaviour, and I was the exact same. And then I found out that she no longer does anything with the brand, but I still always really enjoyed the makeup products. Like, I loved her translucent powder, and I loved any of the products that I had, the lipsticks and her Shade and Light palette. I always enjoyed them. I really liked them. So such a shame we're not here to talk about her, we're here to talk about the makeup palette. The palette is gorgeous. Can we just deal with the shades inside? Here's some of them swatched, and just think that they are so beautiful. There's this loose glitter as well that just really screams my name every time I see it. I've used it twice in 2 different looks. I love it so much. The quality of these shadows is just superb. They blend incredibly well on the eye. There's nothing in this palette that I don't like. I love that they have like a really dark brown. Some of the shades are a little bit deceiving in this because you think, oh, this is going to be like a really light touch or a light wash to the crease, and then it has a lot of intensity. So do be light-handed with this and build as you go. I don't need to tell you guys that, you know it already. I love that it has like 2 different sides to the palette. It just has like, you know, you can have more of like a purpley toned palette on this side, and then you can like have more of a warm tone brown, more warm tone brown on that side. It's just a gorgeous palette. I love the quality. Like, I just can't stress how much I love the quality of the shades. Like, I cannot. They're just so good. I'm so impressed with them. And it's so blendable, so easy to wear, and I've created so many looks with it. I feel like even if you're a beginner, this is a great palette for, because there's just so many different shades to kind of use in it, and then like branch out into the colors, because I know sometimes colors can be a little bit kind of like scary if you're a beginner. I know, remember when I just started using makeup, I was like, oh, colors, oh, and then I got crazy into makeup, and I was like a blue eyeliner and like purple all over my lid, and I was just crazy into colors. But I do know when you are looking at them, they can be a little bit kind of scary, but the kind of touches of color in this they're not too extreme. They're very, very wearable. So anyway, that palette I love. I cannot stress enough how much I love it, and if you haven't tried it, you need to give it a go. It's a great one. Honestly, it's a brilliant palette. I just had to open the blinds because I felt like it was gone super dark there, so I'm so sorry if this video was like in darkness for the entirety of it. Hopefully it's not too dark. But I know they're like my 5 favorites, but the last palette I just did want to mention, just if you are looking for a more affordable neutral palette, because I think all of those palettes I was talking about a little bit more in the high end spectrum, but this is the Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette. Now I really like these. The one that I have here that I enjoy quite a lot is the Origin palette. They come out with so many different ones of these. I can't like keep up with them. There's a ton of them, but I really like this one. The shadows are fantastic. Then you have 2 rows of shimmers, which I'm not a big fan of the shimmers, but the mattes are incredible. So if you want something a little bit more affordable, I know the Morphe one is pretty affordable, but just if you're looking for something else, this is great, and it has a great variety. I just didn't mention that palette because I wanted to talk about that Kat Von D one. That's just a new favorite of mine. So yeah, that's basically the reason why. But just if you wanted something a bit more neutral, there you go. Anyway guys, that basically rounds up all my favorite eyeshadow palettes at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, thumbs up. It really helps me out. I love you so much. Thank you for your continuous support, and I will talk to all of you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.